Weapon of Choice GvG edition. New format. This is not hosted by Castro as it was in the past, almost 2 decades ago. This is a new version following the similar style. We have today Yoko and Bounty as guests, but let me quickly introduce you to what we're going to talk about. This is GvG only. We're not talking about PvE, not teams, not random arenas, or any other crap. This is GvG only. From now on, we will try, hopefully, to get every Sunday another episode live. Next week is the Sunday after the MAT, which will feature, hopefully, a guest from the next winning team, which is hopefully, again, not fist, no hate here, but it would be cool to have someone else on the show and get another perspective from a different team while we go over what happened in the MAT, why they chose whatever builds they did, what thought process they had with the Mayflux, which is the non-elite one, and we'll just look how far apart they are to everyone else. Anyways, from now on, we will talk about not only what happened in the MAT and whatnot, because believe it or not, we got attention again. Guild Wars got Guild Wars Reforged. And it's not only PvE stuff, which a lot of people thought would happen when it came out. No, by now, we actually got 2 skill updates. Yes, some people may or may not love or hate some of the changes. I heard a lot of rumors about people thinking some of the changes are the next generation of power creep. However, they are still being held in check by mesmers, dervishes, and elementalists. The changes so far are minor, except for the spirit way, which has been buffed into oblivion, in my opinion. You can literally play it on almost every map now, which was in the past something that did not work out. I remember it being played first time I saw it in like 2007 or something. Mostly on maps that actually favored the spirits, which was like Weeping Stone or something. Last month, however, we actually saw it's being played on other maps. And on the March MAT, I've seen it on maps like Solitude, which is more or less actually known for its split ability, which is kind of crazy if you think about it. Um, Spirits have been buffed so much that it's no longer used for specific maps, for gimmicks, to overwhelm your opponent in a certain manner. Now you can actually play it on every map, especially with how strong the Warrior Paragons are with their anniversary weapons, which is not a big problem, but I'm sure we will get into all those things with our guests today. Um, let's give a quick look at the patches and what big changes actually had ramifications for the GvG scene. In the first patch on February 5th, the biggest impact were probably the spirits. I mean, we have seen some charging strike warriors with like, I don't know, triple signet interrupts, but this was more or less just a few games, nothing specific, not meta defining. The only really big thing from that patch were truly the spirits. Sure, some other skills like energizing crowers, the Paragon stuff, wasn't bad. And Word of Century is really, really good too. But it's by far not played as much and often as the Spirit Way. For the April 28th patch, we've seen a lot more changes to elites. Some of them are good, some are them bad. The biggest impact so far came on MOI. because it was already used before. We have seen a lot of Healers Covenant monks, a lot of Help Me secondaries. Um, Basically Paragon secondaries with this skill Help Me, which is a cool thing if you think about it. However, it may not just be cool. If you're looking at Singas and you know you will have a harder time interrupting those people. And the build is already super strong. Questionable if that change really helped. I mean, the intention behind most of the skills was to get lesser used skills into the game. Some of the skills that were changed were used before, no doubt about that. But that's the most of the changes that actually were used so far in GvG. I've seen a couple of Writ weapons and even Writ Monk's Mito with what god awful weapon was that? Ghostly weapon, I think, spamming it, which seemed kind of cool. But it did not take hold in the metagame so far. This may be, however, because of the upcoming flux when the patch was released, because the patch was released during the April flux. Now we're in the May flux, and a lot of the leads that got changed have barely any room in the current metagames. In the metagame, especially with the flux that buffs you when you do not have an elite. But I'm quite curious what people come up with during the MAT. I'm sure some people have thought about interesting stuff. I wonder if they actually play it, but we'll get into that next week when we talk about the MAT. Now, let me check if Yoko and Bounty are ready and we can start. Hey guys, are you there? Are you there, Yoko, Bounty?
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, today we're gonna start with Yoko and Bounty being the players of Fist who won the last MAT. I think it's kind of good to give people a quick introduction. I mean, most people who are gonna watch this are probably familiar with your names, but it would be good to know what in-game name you are most familiar with, or most people would know you under, and your guild history. I know Yoko has a little shorter history than Bounty. I think Bounty started in '07. So how about we start with Yoko and then go over to Bounty?
Me? I think I started at the same time as Bounty did, probably. I just it wasn't that active anyway. But yeah, I wasn't good enough as well. I mean, I couldn't even speak English back in the days. But I don't know. The guilds I played the most was Barcode back in the days, 2010. With Ego, I think people know Ego. I think he was pretty famous. I stopped Flaming and other people. And then didn't play for a while, and then came back around 2018. And then yeah, won some gold capes back in the days and now. And I mean, my most played is probably Yoko Kano, which is Delhi, and then the Dervish, which is Viking Kong Racer.
So
Yeah, I played everything.
if you say you played literally everything, I'm pretty sure there are roles you're most familiar with, which you probably started out at. Um, you just mentioned the Elementalist. Is that the role you started GvG as, or did
No,
that
no.
just evolve?
I actually started as a monk player. Believe it or not, nobody actually thinks I'm a monk player. But I played for the first few months as a monk, and then I just played beach role, which doesn't that word doesn't exist anymore. But beach role was like something like a player that would play Ellie, Paragon, Smiter, Necro, whatever is needed, Warrior, Third Warrior, anything and everything. So that was my role. That's what I played. So whatever was the meta, whatever was the patch notes, whatever was new and good, I was playing it. That
That's
was
an
my main role.
interesting take if you look at most people's histories. most people start on one role and always, well, almost always stay there.
Yeah. Yeah. No, when I started as a monk, I really got bored of it because I am the kind of guy that likes to play many things and explore. And so when I switched to the beach role, I had a blast. So I could play everything. I can always play something new, and it wasn't stagnant for me. So random arena, GvG, team arena, that's what I was playing, and I was always playing everything. So that's the reason why I played that role.
Yeah.
I'm just different.
So when you say that you started quite early with Buckard and stuff, that's all post Victory or Death, right?
All what? Sorry.
All post the Victory or Death change with the Lord damage now.
I My account is from 2005, but I did not play. I touched the game a little bit in 2005, but then I didn't play until it was after Nightfall, basically.
Yeah, because this is what I
But I
had
do
in
know
mind.
Victory of Death.
Yeah, but this is what I had in mind because I remember Bounty, and we'll get to that now. Playing top GvG while Victory or Death was still there, which was
I
later
played some
changed because
GvG
it
with
was
that.
super problematic. And
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's changing the perspective on the game if you play before such a big change or not. What's your stance on that, Bounty?
Well, hello everyone. Should I present myself first before we hop into
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
that question, maybe? Just do like Yoko. Um, Bounty, people know me as Bounty. Some people have seen me a lot as Xena-san, maybe. Started playing Series GvG around 2007. I mostly towards the second half of 2007, back when Roar started to have a great domination, and played for guilds in that period, such as UF, so you failed. Had really good results there. Then I played into a European guild called Baby, where I played quite a bit of big tournaments at that time and won a couple of them. And then I ended up playing with Pry in 2009. I won my first gold capes. And then I stopped for around 10 years. So I stopped around like summer 2009 and picked back up towards maybe May or June 2019. So a 10-year break. Came back like 6 to 7 years ago, basically, and had some success since. I played a lot with the same people, and yeah, my roles were primarily back in the day Mesmer. I was definitely a main Mesmer. I think the only role I would play beside Mesmer was Warrior in a three warrior setup. And since I came back, I mean, after that, I played Warrior. I became a main Warrior after that in 2009, basically. So Mesmer and Warrior were really my main roles. And then since I came back, um, I guess I've played quite a bit of roles like Yoko. I would consider myself as a versatile player. I think my core role is Warrior and frontline in general. Um, I believe I can play about anything. Maybe not to every all of the same level, but yeah. So that's I think that resumes a bit of my career. And coming back to your question, sorry,
Yeah, sure.
what was it?
The question was, do you see the game differently, post VOD compared to when VOD was there? I mean, the game has been now out for over 2 decades, and a lot of things changed. The metagame changed. Um, do you see it differently compared to the time you took a break? Because I'm pretty sure a lot of people who listen into this podcast may have never played VOD at all, or at least not in top levels. I'm sure the game must have felt super different.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. It was very different. I miss it, to be honest. I would love to see it return, maybe not as a permanent game mode, but maybe as a like seasonal or like much like the Fluxes, you would play it a couple months during the year. That would be cool. For sure, the game was much different. Um, I think the level of understanding of the game was also much different. If you look at the games from that time, from today, you would be like, man, they could do this, they could do that, but not everything was figured out at that time. You have to also know that the skills were quite different on some classes. So yeah, it was a different game, much more. The NPCs were much more important than today, even though they're still really important because of 28 mechanic. But yeah, very different. But I would say that the core is the same. You have to run flags and kill the enemy, and you win by killing the Lord. So it's more or less the same game, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah, to a degree, definitely. It's just my perspective was always the end game dynamic with 28 feet. So, well, what's the perfect word for this? Probably dull. Like it's kind of boring. You always know you have to split the same people, and you either are in a good position to actually do enough load damage and stay alive, or you basically get fucked. It's like really tough, especially when you think about your last MAT finance when you had them pushed into their base. It's like a super terrible position to get out of it to do actual lord damage because you have to push through your opponent, get pressured all the way. While with victory or death, you always had the NPCs helping you to get out. And I think once you're in a bad position now, it's like really, really tough.
Yeah, yeah, it can be. But when you had lost your whole base back in the day, it was tough as well, because you would
Yeah,
march
that's
with
true.
zero
That's true.
NPC into death, basically. But I mean, everybody that played at that time remember how the meta evolved around the mechanic, and it was changed because it was just people bringing AoE damage. It felt much like PvE. You would play defensive for whatever time. I think it was 20 minutes or 24 minutes. I don't remember. And you would just bring a lot of defense and some meteor showers or fragmentation weapon or
Yeah,
things like this.
basically
It felt much
PvE
like
and
PvE.
PvP.
Yeah, yeah. It was. It could have been better of a mechanic, but I miss it. I wish it could come back for a bit.
Yeah. All right. Let's go through the last single build you guys played, which is probably one of your main roles. But how about I think you Bounty could start here. Go through the last build you played, all 8 skills, and what it's about, what you want to achieve with it, and give players some insight.
So you're talking about the last MAT match I played,
You
or
you
or
can pick
like?
whatever match was the last match. Just pick the bar you played and go through it
Well, I can
once.
I can pick the MAT finals because it's a build I play um a lot, and that is considered heavily meta game right now, which
Go
is a
with it.
coward warrior with death charge. Uh, you're a warrior. You're here to deal a lot of damage overall and do what we refer as spikes and try to get your whole team on board with whenever you're unloading your damage and yeah, maybe try to move a bit around the map to kill some people. You have a great feature of KD in your bar, which is a deadly mechanic in this game. So so yeah, doing damage and knocking down people and moving around the map is what I do most of the time with that bar.
Any tips or tricks for people who are starting out as warriors, who have barely played warriors? which you would think is really important to know, especially with
Yeah,
low bar.
I'll keep it short. Don't be afraid to use flail. That would be my tip.
All right, then let's move to Yoko. I think we stay with the MAT build. I think that was Lissa, right, Yoko?
Yeah. Yeah. I played in the finals. I play Lisa. I mean, I usually play Lisa a lot in general. Uh, I mean, I'm gonna explain what is Lisa, right? So, like, Lisa is like the best flag runner in the game. I would say it's the best flag pusher in the game, pretty much. I would say, and there's a pretty good solo splitter. So, I mean, I don't know if I have to explain all of these things, but and then I would say it's also a really good DPS. So pretty good at everything. Not OP at anything, just really good.
So basically a
And
jack of all trades.
jack of all trades. Let's say that. Yeah, it's pretty good at everything.
And what do
Uh
you think is putting you, for example, as Lissa apart to other people and the mistakes you have seen? Like, is there something you think people need to understand about the bar to actually be effective? Because if we look at Guild Wars history, the person who actually brought this bar to life was Zuri, and he always died after time. So I'm pretty sure there are things you have to keep in mind when playing it.
let's say this: Zuri makes good bar, but it's a really bad showcase, or just like a really bad at playing them. Um, Okay, Lisa, if you wanna be the one of the best Lisa players, you need to be really good at knowing every bar in the game. So you need to play all of them in general, all the other bars. You need to know the meta. So in general, you need to have a lot of experience to really be a good Lisa player. On top of that, you need to play the game. That's about it. There is nothing like, oh, you go random arena and you practice it, or you do this skirmish 2v2, you do it and you're gonna be better. Like you need to know the meta, you need to know the game, and then you need to practice a lot. It's just that, you know, and
S-
some mechanical skills and stuff like that. But that's not important.
So if you would have to sum it up, so the main point is basically awareness to know what you're facing, how it could damage you, and how you're getting out in or whatnot, right?
Yeah, but I would say it's not like Lissa is hard to play. If your guild wants to just run flags as Lissa, it's the easiest role in the game. You just go back and forth, run a flag, and that's about it, and it's easy.
Yeah, yeah,
But
true.
if you want to play Lissa, you kind of want to coordinate with your team flag pushes and flag double running flags, and when to hold and when to stop flagging and doing other things. So it's not about the role per se. So no, it's not about the build, but it's about the role. Like you need to know what you're doing overall in the game, and you kind of have to have a voice. Because List is easy to play. You just run a flags and that's it, back and forth, back and forth. But like if you want to actual play Lisa in the real way, you need to know. You need to be coordinating and knowing what to do.
Yeah,
That's the hard part.
that makes sense. Looking at all the matches on Observe, looking at how people play Alyssa, this is something I would definitely confirm knowing is a lot of the gameplay for Alyssa. Um, let's go over to personal questions and your guild. I mean, you both are in Fist, right? So let's start out with guild questions, and we go into personal stuff. Who is the loudest member of Fist?
Who's the what?
Loudest member. When you're on Discord,
Oh,
you're in a
loudest.
match.
Loudest member in Fist?
Yeah, who keeps on talking, who screams a lot or whatever.
Is it good or bad? The loudest? Like in that what way? Like
Whatever, just the loudest person while you're playing. Who do you hear the most?
uh probably Bounty maybe or me. I don't know.
So you guys are the troublemakers on Discord. I get it.
Yeah, I don't know. But sometimes I'm really quiet. It depends what I'm doing. But yeah, I don't know.
Well, about
I think our
quiet.
Discord is pretty good, to be honest. We don't really spam.
All right, all right. So, who's usually the quietest person in your team?
The quietest,
Yeah.
I mean, has to be our monks, probably. Some of our monks. Monty, you need you need.
The quietest of the team is most likely Ali.
Ali, I would
Yeah,
have thought it's Purif.
yeah, could
Uh,
be the same. Could
it
be
could have been, but
close.
it's not.
All right, all right. So, what are your roles in the team? Do you have a single shot caller in Fist, or does everyone, I don't know, cost something from their position and it's a team effort? How do you guys go
Uh,
about it?
the shot caller, generally speaking, is bounty. Okay, when it's about to do something it's important, if it's a change of tactic, uh, it's usually him. Now, if he's doing something else and is somewhere else in the map and he doesn't know, I will be the guy saying stuff on the other side or whatever is happening. But the main one is bounty for sure.
And everyone
Uh,
follows through, right?
yeah, yeah, of course. I mean, it doesn't work. Even sometimes, if I don't agree with bounty decision, I still kind of follow it because you kind of have to go for it. If you go all fast, you do something that you're like, and then some people do and some people don't. You end up losing. So you kind of have to trust and do it.
You see, this is my experience whenever I guessed it for teams that are less experienced. Um, I have the experience that when you do not have a proper shot caller or people are not conform with what he's calling and they're not following through, the team falls apart. You may wipe or get
That's
people after time.
I'll say this. Our strong part is not like Bounty is gonna tell us during the game what to do. It's we do some preparation about builds and what we can face because we know the meta. We know what we could face in certain maps. So we talk about certain scenarios, and so we prepare ourselves. This happens, blah blah blah, yada yada yada. Bounty is just changing a tactic because something happens, something that is not supposed to happen maybe happens, is gonna do that call. But overall, everyone knows what to do because we talk about it and we tell people that we're gonna do this and that, and also we play a lot, so like people know what to do. Like they people know what to do on their roles most of the time. So it's just like changing direction when it's needed to be changed, when it's like some weird situation or different situation.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
to add to that, just a little bit. Yuko said we have some prep, basically some preparations going into games, some scenarios. Those are prepared by usually the people that it's the same people that do the shot calling that prepare matches, generally speaking. And so what I would do, for example, is I go see particular member of the team and explain them some really common scenarios and what they should do there. And what happens during the game is sometimes these players understand it by themselves and then they do it, but sometimes they don't, and I tell them, and then it's kind of instantaneous that they know what to do because I already explained them before. So they just sometimes they just need the warning that it's happening, for example. So because explaining something, explaining a concept, explaining a tactic, all of that during the game sometimes can be clunky. And yeah, that preparation does great um, with some roles that you tell them, okay, when this happens, you should do this. Doesn't mean they will do it. It does mean that if you remind them during the game, it will click really fast. So that's the good part about preparing games.
totally
But
makes
then
sense.
there's the thing you can't prepare for, and that's where we have to talk more and explain things on the fly, and I have to also gather uh, what some people I've seen. I will ask my aide what's happening there. Why did we lose the last time 2 minutes ago? Why did we lose that? Yada yada, and I'll try to gather every intel and make a new strat or like double down on the current strat basically. So yeah, you can't prepare everything.
All right, that's very true. Let's get into the fun part. We start with you, Bounty. Um, who do you think is the most overrated player?
Okay, I see the trend. The most overrated player. It's really hard to say. I would need a list. If I had no list and I had to think about it, I'm generally a straight person. I'm not scared to say what I think, and I think people should not be like take it personally. Overrated person? My God. Can I have some some proposals, or do I just go with
You
on
so
Tolcano?
let's limit the amount of players to who is still playing the game. So do not pick anyone from the previous times. But while you go through Tolcano, how about we pick the other side? Who do you think is underrated? Who's a good player but doesn't get enough credit?
Uh, okay. I think I have a name in mind. I had two name in mind, but I'll take my actual vote. I think a very underrated player overall is Mirror, French player. Doesn't really have great communication, especially when the games are done in English, because he doesn't speak really well English. But his understanding of the game and his reads, and sometimes the solutions he comes up with live are really good, and really few players in the game can do that. Uh, where he's gonna have a bit of more trouble is the leading part. You know, he can have great reads and insights, but it's gonna be hard for him to bring the team with him and explain his thought and yada yada. But yeah, that would be probably my most underrated player, even though most people know he's a good player. I think people maybe don't know how good he is. So that would be that would be mine.
That's a fair answer. I can actually agree. The times I guessed it with him, I really felt him pulling his own weight without saying a word was actually very impactful, especially when he is playing a role that can actually impact the game without having his full team like the Lissa or something, and you can really see it coming. How about you, Yoko? Who do you think is underrated?
Underrated.
Yeah.
It's hard to say. I don't know if that actually applies to this. I would say I have two names in my opinion. Uh, I don't know if it underrated is actually the word I would use, but I would say I'm impressed by two players, which is one is Fennec and the other is Tris. These two players played for 1 year, more or less, and if you think about it, they are at the top of the guilds, the top guilds, like after playing GvG for 1 year, and
Yeah.
that has to be insane. By looking at the observer, the way they play, it's clear that their movements, the small things you can tell that it's something you would see from a player that is playing way more than 1 year. So they got good quickly. Those two names will be my names.
All right, all right.
Okay.
Um, do you have?
Overrated, I don't know.
I was just
I
about to
don't
ask.
know. Actually, you know what? I have a name. I have a name. All
Go
right.
ahead, go ahead.
I'm watching Tolcano. I'm gonna talk shit.
Yeah, go ahead. Piss people off.
I think overrated would be the definition would be somebody that is actually top gills or somebody that is like regarded as a good player overall.
Yeah, and you
But
think he's not
yeah,
that great.
it's not that great. It's not shit, but it's not that as good as people think. I would
Yeah,
say
exactly.
Willy.
Willie.
Willy.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, he's gonna be pissed about this.
No, it's okay. Willy's not gonna be pissed. It's fine. It's gonna
Did
be
you
fine.
find a name, Bounty?
Did I find the name? I mean, if I don't find the name, then people will say I pussied out. So
Probably.
I kind of have to go like balls deep. I looked at the Tolkano ordered by number of gold capes, and I'm trying not to scroll too much. Um, that is. I mean, there's some people that are not even rated, so it's hard to overrate them.
I mean,
Uh,
ultimately, if you do not find a name, you can always name me because I have quite a lot of goals since the game is dead, and I know I'm not that
no,
great.
it's okay. I have to be a man, and I'll just pick someone from XXX, to give some content. Overrated from XXX, I would say that's quite a bit.
Okay.
I mean, you can technically name
Okay.
more than one person if you want to
No, no,
piss off more.
I'm not gonna give that much content. I would say Candy Boy. Candy Boy is overrated to me. No
Candy
offense
boy.
to the guy, he's a great player, but yeah,
All
he's
right,
a
all
bit
right.
uh, he's a bit rusty.
So we picked single players. Let's go over guilds. Do you think there is a guild that is underrated who performs quite well, came maybe out of nothing and is super underrated compared to what people think?
Hmm.
Well, the thing is, the game moves fast. The guilds disband and
You
then
change.
they
Yeah,
are
that's kind of true.
recreated.
So,
And
when I say guild, I mean if there's a group of people that plays over and over again. Let's say, you guys have been in several guilds, but you have been a group for longer together. So whatever name that guild currently has, just pick that name.
I would say I'm just watching the last MTA. I would say Crew defeated a bunch of players, a bunch of guilds that maybe I wouldn't think they would. So I guess they are
yeah, I think
underrated, I
I
guess.
think Crew was the first name that come to my mind because they qualify for an actual guild. They have some kind of trademark. They they don't disband. I usually have really big trouble recognizing player from mid guilds, but with them I can recognize some players because I see them all the time. So I would say Crew, and I would say maybe part of their success. It's just I'm trying to be nice to fellow leaders out there, and I think they have a guy called Dark in there. I'm not sure. I hope I'm not making a mistake, which is their leader or at least their shot caller, and he seems to be active and they seem to be listening to the guy, and I think this is usually one of the worst fit of teams, generally speaking. They don't have a leader. I mean, we talked about it a bit earlier,
Yeah.
and these guys do have what seem to be a leader. So and they've had decent results, to be honest. They come up with like some shenanigans for just for the MAT. They play, they prepare. They are in the great mindset. They're not the only guild. I think since Reforged, we've seen 2 or 3 guilds like that. But they're the one that would
I
stand to
think team
my
as well.
yeah, yeah, yeah. There's a couple other like I would think of team as well, but my I would give it to crew.
All right. How about a guild that is overrated?
A guild, overrated guild. I
Yeah,
mean, I know the answer.
go ahead.
I mean, watching the MAT again is a guild that didn't get top 16.
Oh, wow.
You
Oh,
know,
okay. Go
they're
ahead.
supposed to get top 16. It's BG. Is it BG actually the name?
You mean Willy's good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is getting personal.
Yeah, I kind
I
of feel
mean,
it. But yeah,
I mean,
people actually expected him to get top 16 because the people
of
in the guild
course,
were actually considered good players. So it was
yeah, of
kind of
course.
shocking they didn't get 16. That's
Overrated,
true.
overrated guild.
Yeah, yeah. I can see
The
your point
definition.
there. All right, Bounty, do you have an overrated guild?
Overrated guild. Well, I would have to go with Yoko's choice as well for last MAT because I mean if you told some of these players a year ago that they wouldn't get to top 16 in a year, I think they would laugh for an hour straight. But reality is reality check was hard. I hope they bounce back. No personal grudge there. And other than that, it's hard to say because again, the teams disband, they recreate, they yada yada.
Yeah, it's kind of
Um,
different from the past, right? Because back then guilds
Yeah,
stayed together for far longer.
there's less of a trademark names, you know. You're like these guys are always the same guys. They maybe change one or two players, but these are the guys we know. When you say the name, you know who's in there, you know. Today it's hard. The people they disband, they recreate a guild, they form. Sometimes they they recreate a guild to kick one player, you know. It's like it's a bit confusing, so I don't think I could give you an overrated guide.
I
I
mean,
think generally speaking, it's pretty easy. If teams don't disband and teams play, just look at the ladder. Just look at the ladder. Just look at the ranks. You will know who's who. It's easy,
yeah,
super easy.
that's a good point. Um, let's stay there for a moment, and since Yoko mentioned it, they did not make top 16, while other teams like Crew, who kind of came out of nowhere, um, actually managed to have a good placement. What do you think is the actual difference there? Do you think it has something to do with motivation, not preparing enough, or underestimating opponents? What do you think was the actual downfall for some teams while other people actually went pretty far up?
I can't speak for every guild. I'll start that one. I can't speak for every guild. I think when I think of a guild like BG was, when I think of a guild like I don't know. RGT probably played last month, or maybe they played. They didn't play. Maybe they played
No, no,
the
they
month
didn't.
before. Um, I think these gears that underperform have often problems inside the team. They have what we refer as drama, and generally it's because they don't have. That's my opinion. Maybe that's far-fetched, but I think that's because they don't have a leader. They don't have someone that. Just tries to get people in line and not have all that bullshit and just work toward the goal. I mean, everybody in a team of 8 people wants to win the MAT. There's not a single guy that comes and just doesn't care. When you get that impression, it's just that people don't like each other and people, there's no chemistry. The chemistry is not there, and I think sometimes the chemistry can be there if you have all of it what the team needs and what the team needs is also a leader I believe so if you just make a group of people that perform good in array or just have a name you're gonna have a certain like floor level but your ceiling it's not certain that you will reach it because everybody has to play to their level and it's hard to do when you just log into the MAT and just say okay you play this and let's go. No, there is preparation, there is playing the game, there is it's hard today, and it's been for a bit. It's hard to just log in with zero playtime, zero prep, and just win easy. So yeah, you have to work.
Yeah, I would totally agree with this, especially now with things actually changing in the metagame. I mean, the metagame has been more or less stale for years, but since Reforged and the increase of players and skill changes, the metagame shifted quite a bit, and I'm pretty sure it's going to shift even more eventually. So, yeah, not preparing is a big downfall for teams, which is pretty cool to see that you guys are playing quite often if you're not playing yourself, which is another part I see not many people do is guess for other teams.
Yeah, there's a lot of the game that comes into account, or maybe there's also availability, obviously. But I do believe playing on your own does make you better. especially as you say nowadays with the meta shifting, and does make your team better because you don't have to play with your guild to make them better. If you go play by yourself and see some meta trends and stuff, you bring them back home, and you tell, oh, I've played with this guy, they do this, it's pretty good, you should do it as well. You bring intel home basically. So playing the game is good for sure.
Yeah. Anything to add to this, Yoko?
Not really. I think what he said is basically what I was gonna say as well. Yeah.
All right, then let's get into a bit more personal stuff. Um, what is your favorite class? I think Yoko can go ahead
Favorite
too.
class. My favorite class. Man, it's a bad question for me because I do like pretty much all of the classes. I mean, I can't tell you what I don't like, which class I don't like, more than what I like, because then I would be almost everything. The class I don't like is has to be ritualist. I think ritualist is very, very, very bad right now in the meta. Like, of course, there is a spirit spammer, but the spirit spammer in spirit way is good. I mean, it works. But as a caster ritualist, weapons, damage, anything like that, the classic, it's just really, 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 really bad. And I don't like it because I try to make it work a lot of times. Every time I play it, it's just impossible to play.
Yeah,
So
you kind of get funked by the overpowered mesmers.
it's just the cooldowns, the duration, the mana cost, the cast time. It's a combination of things that just don't work,
Yeah, yeah.
and the game is too fast.
How about your worst class? I mean, you said you can play pretty much any class,
My worst
but what
class.
class are you worst at?
Uh, I mean, it has to be probably monk or ranger. It's the class I really don't play much at all,
So
even though I can
it's
play
kind of
them.
interesting. The class you started GvG with is probably your worst.
But I would still be pretty really good at monking. I would say that, but it has to be my worst class, monking.
All right.
Has to be
What do you think is your best class?
my best class, my best role. I mean, my best class. I don't know. I don't know. Probably Elementalist here. I think so. Ali or Dervish, something like that. That would
All
be,
right. All right.
yeah.
Let's move on to Bounty. What is your most hated class? Which class do you not like?
Um, I honestly like all classes. Like I'm not kidding. If I have to give if I have to give out one, I would say Dervish. I don't like Dervish. I can find a build in every other class that I'm like, yeah, I'd be happy to play that. There's not many builds as a Dervish that I like to play. I mean, when you're a warrior player, there's some you're missing some taste when you play Dervish, I think. And yeah, that would be my least favorite class, but my least favorite build, meta build, or more or less meta, is
Yeah.
the SOS. Not I don't know if it's SOS, whatever the bleed necro.
Yeah, yeah.
I've
Signal of
never played.
Suffering. Yeah.
I've never played that, and I will never play that. That looks so bad. That looks like something I would not have fun with. And I think it's the only meta thing I've never played in my life. So yeah, shout out to the Blood Necros out there.
All right. What is your favorite class? I mean, I could assume it's Warrior or a Mesmer, but what is your favorite?
Yeah, it has to be one of the two. It's hard for me to pick. I've mained them my whole, we could say, life, I guess. They've the two been my main classes. They're the classes that I've had the most playtime, whether that be back in the day or nowadays. Uh, so yeah, Warrior and Mesmer equally probably.
All right, then we get to what is your best class? So if you would apply it one team that is not Fizz, and you would have to say what your primary role should be, what would it be, Warrior or Mesmer?
Well, your question is if I take it literally, what if I had to go in another team? Let's say we're esport, there's $1 million, and I have to apply for a team and make them win. I would probably tell them warrior because I think I have a great macro and that I will showcase that more and I will use that more as a warrior. Um, so yeah, I guess that's the answer, but I think I could play in that same team as a Mesmer.
All right, all right. If you went somewhere, let's say guest or whatever, and they want to put you on whatever role, which is the first role you would say, "Don't put me on it. It's my worst role."
I'm gonna sound cocky there, but I'm gonna say you can put me on anything. It's not gonna hinder our chances to win. But right now, tomorrow, tonight, I would say probably uh, 7 or 8 monk against a really good team. I have really I have zero playtime right now, so I would be super rusty. Maybe int the game.
All right, all right. So since we spoke about you guys actually having played decades ago, like pretty much almost 2 decades ago, um, if you could choose any time during Guild Wars history, which was your favorite time to play GvG? Or was there a favorite metagame you guys had?
I can start. The favorite time. My favorite time and the most fun and the
Yep.
most the meta and stuff. I would say I like now. I like the meta. I think the meta and playing with the people I play, I have fun. I honestly never had a guild where I play with them and I play other games with them and I stick together and whatever goes, lose or loss, win or loss, we stick together. We try to win and the meta game I like. I think the meta game is good. There is a lot of options. It's not perfect. Nothing is perfect, but you know, there's a lot of builds you can play, and some builds are a little bit better than others, but you have options. And compared to what it was like when I came back to the game in 2018, around 2018, I came back to the game, and the only build that was mostly played was just Necro Balance.
Yeah, I
And
remember.
nowadays,
We ended up in a guild together, and we played Necrobalance nonstop.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And then the meta game, 80% of it, 90% of it was just Necro Balance with the occasional, I don't know, invoke spike or snare early builds or whatever it is, some kind of things that really little people played. And I was like, this is so bad. If you think about it nowadays, Necro Balance doesn't even exist anymore. You don't see that as a build, just very rarely, if not at all. And 90% of the games were necromanced. Worst meta ever. Like if you have everyone is playing the same builds, it's like just boring. Just straight up boring. Back in the days, the meta was really bad. I mean, I would say when I played around 2008 and 9, there was some cool metas, some cool builds. The game was updated a lot more, so you had up and downs. It was interesting for the as a player like me, where I wanted to play everything and new things. It was fun for me when it was active, so that was okay. When I won my gold cape, which was around 2010, it was still kind of fun, even though the meta was a little stale because it was mostly triple melee and so melee split. But then I would say the worst meta of everything I played. So like the Necrobans was bad, but there was one that was way worse than everything. The meta game was in 2011 when they mega buffed dervishes. That was the worst meta ever. Every single European IT was triple dervish double mesmer or triple dervish as some combination of that. You
Yeah,
know,
I
that was
remember it.
the worst. The
Yeah.
worst.
At some point, people even had what was that stupid mesmer skill? Fever Dreams with the triple
Yeah,
dervish. It was
yeah, yeah,
just
yeah, yeah. Just
ridiculous.
boring.
Yeah.
Everyone is triple melee. It's just boring. Try triple dervish. Sorry, not triple melee. Triple dervish. Sorry.
Yeah. But it's an interesting take because a lot of people I talked to in the recent month and years really hate the current state of the game. They would prefer to play an older version, and here you are sitting there and saying you like it. It's a totally
I mean, I
different
don't know if
view.
Bounty likes it. You should say what
Well,
you think
he's
about it.
going to be next, but I just wanted to mention it because there are a lot of old players who kind of hate the current state of the game. But let's hear from Bounty. What is your stance on it?
Um, I can have a say about what people like today or think they don't like. But the initial question is what is my favorite meta game, I think.
Yeah,
I
what
think that
time
was the
would you
initial
prefer
question.
to play it if you could choose one?
Um, that's probably what's the English word for that? When you miss something, it's nostalgia. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably nostalgia, but 2007 Ranger Paragon Mesmer main with two warrior and eight running flags and 3 minute stomps at main because whichever team had the better D shots and better like P leaks and better apply spread. I have really great memories about that time. If I look back at it today, it's mostly nostalgia because you would abuse those teams today with any build. But but the second one really quick is to beginning of 2008, if I remember correctly. If my memory serves me right, that was probably Nightfall release and the recent Dervish edition. And there was a build, you can check it out on Memorial or Tokano now, I guess. There was a build with Death Charge wasn't nerfed, like there was an aftercast to teleports, and people would run Melandry Dervishes with Death Charge, and I'm not gonna say the whole build, but they basically had a deep wound, fast attack speed, and fast teleports, and you would play basically a spike around it. It was like a balanced Euro spike, I guess you can say, but no with two fronts, like actual
Yeah, I
like
remember
pressure
it.
spike. And playing Mesmer, I like playing Mesmer in spike builds, so I had a good memory about that.
That's interesting. That's kind of the opposite to Yoko. Yoko would stay in this time, and if you could, you would go back. Um,
Nostalgia mostly.
yeah, but nostalgia is rooted in something. So, um, it doesn't matter if it's just the time with the people you played with or the meta game. It put something in you where you say this was great, right? So, it's an interesting aspect. How about we go through the current state of game? You guys won the last MAT as earlier spoke about. Um, what was your thought process going into the MAT during the April flux? Did you prepare specifically for the flux? Did you prepare for maps or specifically for opponents?
Yeah, for sure. I'm not obviously not gonna sell every of the details, but when we enter a flux, we prepare for maps that are important. Generally speaking, it's like the quarter, semis, and finals maps. The other maps are less important. Um, so that's where we prepare and give our time to. And we generally, uh, most of the time, there is one, maybe two guilds of our level. So we're always gonna think about them when we prepare something. It's yet the mid guilds haven't reached a level where they worry us too much. They can beat us. I'm not saying we're invincible against them, but we dedicate or thinking time to the best or the one best or two best guilds on particular maps, and we come up with short lists of builds. And sometimes we know what we're gonna play. Sometimes we go with the flow of the MAT. It depends.
All right, all right.
With
Did
the short list in mind.
yeah. did the last two patches affect your decision making? Like, I spoke earlier about it because um a lot of people I spoke with about the two patches had some good things to say about certain skills and they were really disappointed with others. Um, but did the changes affect your decision making, or did you just discard it and stayed
I,
with status quo?
I can answer this. When we in Bounty look at the patch, we already know what is gonna be something that can change the meta and what will never be something. So we, unless you're making a completely new team build that counters the best meta builds, the meta is still the same. It's not gonna change that much. You can change some singular builds, some singular skills on singular, thingies. But like the team builds are always the same, It's the triple melee, double mesmer, Zingast, spirit way, yada yada yada, 6 damage, whatever, yada yada yada, split. It's always those. Those are the best, you know.
Yeah,
So we are not. It's not gonna change unless this guy Itzy does some actual good patches. It's not gonna change the meta ever.
Yeah, there's
yeah,
basically there's simply it's pretty simple. Next time there is a patch, anyone can look at it, and if it's only buffs, it's very likely, which by the way is the road they're taking for the skill update, and they've publicly said it.
yeah.
If all you see is buffs, you just have to remember that you can make other builds better, other non-meta builds better with those buffs, but they're not directly making the meta game, the current meta game, worse. So you can say, oh, this new skill is so good, we could do this, we could do this could open up new builds. But at the end of the day, you're gonna look at what is meta and you're gonna say, oh yeah, but these builds still exist.
Yeah,
So
this was ultimately my stance too. I looked at them and I figured some of the changes might be really good, but Mesmers exist in their current state. Elementalists exist with their high DPS, and the dervishes, and I'm like, they're cool changes, but they will never make it against all those shit. So it's kind of it kind of feels like, yeah, we trying to give you something, but not really, because the actual problem is never being targeted.
yeah, I mean, um, I'm in the. I think there is two clear sides. There's the people that wish they wouldn't touch anything, and there's the people that are happy about it. I'm in the happy side. But I know that this is not how you balance a game. It's just gonna offer new possibilities. To me, this is why I like it. It's gonna offer new possibilities. It's cute and stuff when they don't do stupid ritualist elite buff or signet of restraint buff. That, by the way, if anybody ever listens to this at 2 weeks, Signet of Fires Restraint was probably the top 5 skill. If you would ask any good players, they would probably put it in the top 5 skills in the current meta game. So good luck buffing it. But yeah, my point is if they don't nerf stuff, you're not gonna. I mean, maybe after 10 iterations, after boosting so much stuff, the current meta is gonna dissolve, maybe. But I wish they would listen, or I wish they would accept some help regarding current meta,
Uh,
because no offense to them, but they have no idea about the meta itself. They
When
just read data. They just have numbers in front of them, and they're saying, okay, this thing is not played, this thing is not played. That's all they do. That's the approach they are having, and that can only bring you so far.
yeah. Let's say you guys were devs for a day and you could change anything about the game, and we'll limit this answer to one thing. If you could be dev for a day, you can change one thing. What would it be, Bounty?
Well, people that know me know the answer. I've said it for 5 years maybe. I would touch But the first thing I would do, if I could do only one thing, I would touch at Jagged Strike cooldown. That would be the first thing I would do. Today it's a 1 second cooldown. I would put it at least, if I want to be really gentle, I would put it to 2. If I want to be a bit harsher, I would put it to 3. And if I want to be super serious about it, I would put it to 4. 4 second cooldown. That's the one thing I would do.
All right, right. Interesting. Kicking the sin. What about you, Yoko?
Uh, I wouldn't pick one skill. I would pick. I would probably pick. It's okay. If when you change one thing, you need to change other things. That's the problem. Okay, so like when you do okay, this has to be changed, then other things have to be changed at the same time. In my opinion, the double mesmer is a little bit too much. And but at the same time, if you kind of nerf mesmers in a certain way, allies are way too much. You
Yeah,
know,
but the first thing
so
you would do is touch mesmers, if
I
I heard
would
you correctly.
if I had only one choice, I wouldn't. I would just remove domination damage. It's too much damage.
Yeah, yeah.
Some kind of nerf on the domination. It's too much.
What do
Probably. But I'm not even sure about it. But I like the meta, by the way. It's not like I'm against it. So
Yeah, but I can see your point. Like, a lot of people I've spoke to before the podcast, really dislike the true damage from the mesmer. The fact that you can't do something really about it because it's always armor ignoring. Um,
what I will tell you two problems about the mesmers. It's
Go ahead,
obviously the
go ahead.
damage. Like you said, it's the pure damage. And the amount of wrapped you have as a list of wraps, you have like 10 wraps that are OP.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Like you go for the top three wraps and then you nerf them to the ground, you have another three top wraps that are really close there. Like you have too many wraps. You look at the ranger bars, the ranger wraps. As a baseline, ranger wraps are so much worse than mesmer. Travel time, block, walls, and just lower, a lot slower. And there is so few of them, and most of them are elites. But then you look at the mesmer fucking wraps, and they're like no elites, and they're like 10 times better than a ranger wrap would ever be. It's just too much, you know.
yeah, yeah. I totally get you there. Um, since we're talking about changes and stuff, um, what are your hopes for the future of the game? Considering 2 weeks is doing stuff with Guild Wars Reforged, we got the 2 patches. What do you wish for or hope for they would eventually do?
Listen to us, maybe. Just talk to us, to the top players. Top players doesn't mean me and Bounty, but anybody, a group of PvP players have been playing for the last 5 years. So I have a decent understanding of the meta game. They can give some feedback and some help to them. And that would be the only thing they need. Nothing else.
So you're not looking at specific changes to certain classes. You're just happy with them listening to feedback from top players.
Yeah, because if you look at the patch notes, some of the thing he changes, you can tell that he literally has zero clue what he's doing. Like some of the changes is like they're borderline killing. They could kill. Like if he keeps doing this, it might just kill the game. Because some stuff are they're really bad. You know,
Yeah,
like if, for example, the cripple signet on the dervish. People have been playing this for 5 years now,
yeah, and it
and
still
it
got
was
buffed.
OP,
Yeah.
and it got buffed by a lot. So that means like you're gonna see dervishes like being so like for example a cripple skill that cripples you every 2 seconds. You go to Guild Wars wiki, right? You type cripple as a condition and you look at the list. You go by every skill. You look at the numbers they do. You know how long is the cripple? What's the duration? Is it an attack? Is it not an attack? A spell or something? Does it work? A cripple signet, the bios restraint, it's like it's the first as the best, and then there is like then the empty slot, and then there is the next one, which is you're all alone or something. Like it's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
not.
that's kind of true. Can't disagree. Like the skill
There
is
is nothing
stupidly
close to
broken.
that. It's just completely nuts. But he got buffed, even though he was already there as a top one skill for crippling. Like so, that means like he's gonna do something like that again if he doesn't listen to players. If he's not asking for players
I
to
mean,
to
they
help him.
kind of did. I mean, I looked through the
No,
last patch and looking at all the elites being changed. It doesn't really matter for this month's Flux, but I saw stuff like Primal Rage being back on the menu, and I was like,
that's fine.
that's kind of stupid, isn't it? Considering how strong the Mesmer is, you buff an elite that is just giving you another suicide option, right? While still
I,
having to compete with dervishes.
yeah, I would say primal rage buff is not a bad thing per se. Like it's okay, you buff primal rage, but like the problem is like it just needs to listen to players because it's just gonna kill the game eventually. If he keeps doing it without listening to anybody, it's just gonna do some weird skill buff, and then it's not gonna change it because it doesn't. It does not, and then it's just over because there is very few players playing this game. So
Yeah, yeah.
the meta is good though, so doesn't need to do much.
What about you, Bounty? What are your hopes or wishes for the future of the game? Is there something you would want to see specifically, or are you like Yoko just hoping they would listen to players?
No, I mean, honestly, them giving a place for couple players to, at the very least, review changes. I don't know, I don't know what is possible. I don't know what is possible. I don't know what is okay to do. Uh, they're a business. They're a business. If you involve players, maybe you have to sign NDAs. I don't know. It's easy for me to speak on my bedroom chair and just say they should do this. Uh, but one thing is for sure, they don't know about PvP, and it's no offense. They don't know about PvP. So the guy waking up and just making changes based on feeling and data he's reading is in my opinion not enough. He will do mistakes. He's already done mistakes, some that hurt the meta game, some that are funny to watch. When he boosts, he reduces the cooldown, but since the skill used and is used some way that the cooldown needs to be that for it to be good. He thinks he's boosting it, but he's actually nerfing it. You know what? When you're boosting something, but you're actually nerfing it, is a showcase of you don't know what you're doing, and it's okay. This is, the guy has been away for years and years and years, so he's not required to know every interaction, but having having a first like review of what is about to ship would be a good start. So I would agree with Yoko, asking for help or at least like having some kind of test crew like back in the day or some shit would be good. And if I had to make a wish that's not the same as Yoko, I would love, but probably together with player again, I would love that they work on the fluxes. I would like to see new fluxes. I would like to see the number of non-flux months be reduced to one because right now there's a couple of flux that do nothing and are virtually fluxless. So I would like to have one flux during the year that is fluxless, and I would like all the others to be like shiny new metagame basically, and maybe rework some of the existing flux. Doesn't have to be all the time new ones. Yeah, that would be my wish, the number one item on my wish list, other than having proper skill balance.
Interesting that you name Flux, because Flux would have been my next talking point. Um, there are people out there thinking with the patches that we got, the two big ones, it might be smarter to stop the Flux entirely for at least a while and see how the metagame is progressing. because some of the changes are not impactful at all when you consider like last patch. Um, there were quite a lot of elites, and now we have a flux that favors non-elite bars. But you're here saying you want more fluxes, or at
Fluxes
least better
are
fluxes.
Fluxes is an incredibly good design and ID overall. You add a permanent effect to players, and you basically more or less change every skill in the game. So it's a really low effort way to have metagame shifts because you just give effect to players. If players this month have, I don't know, let's say -1 energy regen, maybe, then everybody has to take into account that and have builds that require less energy or have people that give energy to teammates. You all of a sudden you create a new metagame while touching zero skills. Man, Guild Wars skills are amazingly good. They're all goods per se. They just have bad numbers sometimes. They don't do enough or they cool down too long or something. But all the skills themselves are insane. Are really good. Are like the people that did this game 20 years ago or were so ahead of their time. And I think the fluxes are an easy way to just shift the metagame without breaking anything. Yeah, that's pretty much why I love Flux in general.
All right, all right. I see a point there. The sort of mini patch for the month makes totally sense. What is your stance on the flux, Yoko?
Uh, I agree. I mean, I mostly agree with Bounty. There is some fluxes that are completely useless, and it's basically it's just like no flux basically. Yeah, and I like the idea. I mean, I think honestly, I think if he did instead of touching the skills and he actually did some cool fluxes and remove the bad one, it would be great. But still, like he could do something bad as well because if you do a bad flux and then everyone is like, okay, this month we don't play this. This thing is just unplayable. Okay, so it's still another thing. Another
Yeah,
one- another another one of those things that you need to be careful. But it's a cool idea. I think meta shift every month is cool.
yeah. I would agree to uh to at least a degree of it. I just find it kind of tough with the flux. Um, when the flux is favoring one class too heavily, like this and last month's flags, really buffing the Dom Mesmer, totally destroying possible blitz. It's kind of sad to see because, as Bondi said before, the flex is such a great tool to bring new life into the metagame. And then you sit there and the flex just empowers what is already powerful, which is kind of dull in the sense of, yeah, it's not really changing something, you know?
Yeah, because you're
Yeah,
talking about the particular flux, but if tomorrow, next month, there's a flux that makes everybody cast faster, and all of a sudden Mesmer's Rupts are way less powerful, It's just a matter of how do you define the fluxes and then what do they do? You could make a flux that makes Mesmer a pain in the ass easily. Like that's really low effort.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because the opinion is quite different there. As I said before, some people do not like Flux at all, and here we are talking about possible changes to the Flux. Um,
I don't like non-flux. Whenever we enter December, we enter a 3 to 4 month no flux, and this is the time of the year I hate to play Guild Wars the most. That's my opinion.
is there a Flux that you like the most? I mean, when you're talking about the one you hate the most, then there might be one you like the most.
I
Yeah,
like.
personally, I've been pretty vocal about this. My two favorite fluxes are May and November, and uh, and I'm sure
Yeah,
it's a controversial opinion, but I'm I'm convinced and I know what I like. So those will be my two favorite fluxes by far.
November
I
isn't.
like uh,
Yeah,
I
go
like
ahead.
the boss. The boss flux is fun. When you get the boss, it feels good. And I like the chain flux, where you use a skill, you get more buffed. Those two fluxes are fun for me.
All right, all right. So, guys, I'm through with all my talking points. Is there something you guys want to say? Something you want to get off your chest? Something you've been burning inside and out to say?
Not really. I mean, Bounty is gay. That's what I wanted to say.
Is that bad, Yoko?
I mean, for you, yeah.
Something I wanted to say? No, not really. Viva GvG and yeah.
Yeah.
All right then. I suppose we round it up here. Is there anything you look forward to next MAT? Is there any team you're kind of happy and hoping you would face?
I mean,
Let's
I
say in the
always like to
playoffs.
face. I mean, always beating XXX feels good. I hope we beat them again. We face them again. I mean, I'm sure we're gonna face them again, unless something weird happens to them or to us. And beating them feels good.
So you have pretty much a rivalry going with XXX.
I mean, yeah, yeah, it's fun to play against them. They're good. I mean, playing against good guilds is fun.
All right, all right. What about you, Bounty? Looking forward to something specific for next MAT?
Um, yeah, I'm in same as Yoko. I'm looking forward to having great fights against great teams. Um, it's why I play the game.
All right, all right. Then I thank you both for coming, giving insight on your roles and your history, your opinion on the state of the game. I hope to see you next MAT and the playoffs. Get some good commentary for the matches you do.
Yep,
And
pleasure.
Yeah.
thank you.
Pleasure, man.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you for hosting this.
You're welcome.
See ya.
See ya.
See ya.
All right. This was the first episode of Weekend Weapon of Choice, guys. GvG edition. Next week, as I mentioned before, we have the MAT. So the Sunday version of Weekend Weapon of Choice will be quite different. We will get someone from the winning team, hopefully, on the show to go over their matches from the MAT. And even though I do not hate Fist or something, I wish it to be a different guide so we get someone else on here, a different view, and we may or may not do a commentary for more matches if there are interesting ones. But this will be announced, let's say a few days um before the MAT actually starts, looking at the timetable, if I can make it happen to do commentary and see if someone is willing to come online on Sunday after MAT to go through several matches. But for this episode, it will stay on a Twitch for a bit. And I've been talking to Simon from Tolcano to get the episodes uploaded there, which is still a thing in progress, so it's not done yet. But eventually, you can listen into older versions, older episodes on Tolcano, where we will hopefully also upload the older versions from Castrol. So everyone interested in the current state of the game compared to the past can listen in, get a feeling of nostalgia, get a blast from the past, so to speak. And this is it, guys. See you next Sunday.